What's up guys, Peepo here, and today's video is going to be about this, the classic traditional pocket. Now when I refer to classic, it's mainly to deal with the fact that every kind of traditional, your more generalized ones, has a specific designator. So like steel Stanwicks, most used one is the pita pocket where it has the twist going down the middle. One of my more favorite symmetrical pockets has a X going down the middle, which is trad X. You have your rocket pocket, all that stuff. A lot of traditionals have a designator as to know what is being strung. The main reason why I call it a classic is because this is how traditionals have been done for a very long time, until like maybe a little bit over a decade ago. A lot of people didn't really change it up so much, but so I call it a classic so that people will know, hey, this is what you want, instead of just saying, oh, I want a traditional. Okay, what kind? Oh, I don't know the differences, but I want a traditional. So it's just one of those things where it helps designate what's being strung, what the person wants. And this is actually my favorite style of a traditional. Overall, it's just my favorite. But so this video is going to be a tutorial on how to string it, and basically I'm going to be going through one of the ways that I have learned and become effective at stringing a classic traditional, and that's by stringing it flat. Now when I say stringing it flat, these leathers are attached at the top to the bottom and pulled completely flat, and then once you progress through the pocket, it's pushed out and it appears to be looking like this. Now I'm going to go through a little bit what it talks about in the video. This red string here is what I tend to use as the single string. Whenever I do a three-piece, I usually do whichever. I always start my classics from the left side of the head. So like if you're looking at the back side of it, this is the left side of it. So I'm looking at it, this is my left side. And that's usually where I start. And I use this one to find my spacing. So when it's flat, you'll actually see it in the video, but when it's flat, I use this sidewall with the sidewall strings installed to find my spacing on the leathers for how big and how many diamonds that I plan on stringing up. So it's a very, very efficient, very quick way to get exactly what you want as far as spacing and everything like that. This spacing on this leather creates the spacing for the next leather and the next leather and the next leather. So from my style, it spaces everything out from left to right side of the head, so that there's proper spacing and everything stays relatively even, if you believe that. And whenever you have these leathers tied, you want to make sure that they're nice and tight, but not tight to the point to where it starts to like push the head, the scoop starts to flatten out and everything. You don't want that. Just before that, that's how tight you want the leathers, to where there's like, if you were to pull it, it would strum. But so after that, that creates your casting points, and then you want your casting points to be on both sides. I've gone over this before about classic traditionals and whatnot, where if you create your casting points from certain parts of the sidewall. So I start on this third hole. The other side, you're going to shift it up a little bit, because if you look at the casting, this casting point right here, if you were to go straight across, the casting point is actually lower than where the first casting point is on this side. So just something to keep in mind when you're figuring out your casting points and your spacing and your diamonds and everything like that. Now when you're punching out the pocket, this is what creates the shape of the pocket. So you want to pay attention a little more so whenever you're punching out the pocket, because if the strings are off or anything like that, your leathers are gonna kind of look like that. it's not going to look very even or very good looking. Whereas like if you string it properly, it'll have a nice almost mesh pocket curvature to it. So it's going to have a nice curve and have a nice placement, all that. It's going to just look like the shape that it's supposed to. Once you punch out the pocket though, that's when you really want to tie off your strings. You want to figure out where your bottom knots are going to be, because if you just string everything and tie off and burn once you're done being flat, you're going to have a huge amount of space down here. Like these last couple knots aren't going to be there, and you're going to have like 2-3 inches of just empty space, and the ball can pop out at the bottom. You know, you don't want that. So don't get ahead of the video, because it'll show you exactly what I suggest as far as how you should string it. As you can see here, and you'll see later on in the video, I do have shooters, but in the tutorial I don't have shooters in it because I've already done this shooter. If you go to my Hubbard, I believe it's Snapping with Peepo video, it shows you exactly how to do this sort of shooting string. So that's what I suggest as far as that. So thanks for listening to me ramble on, and hopefully you guys get something out of this video and you guys get better at stringing traditionals. So I'm going to hush up now, and you guys go ahead and watch the rest of this video. Thanks for watching, guys.